Alright, here we are. Finally, I've finished my visual novel, Plastic Animals, and you can get yourself a copy. You can locally read it on itch.io, though it's a little laggy until things go into your memory, I've noticed. So what I recommend is you go down and you download yourself a copy, and all you do then is, if we go to it here, you just have to see the index.html. It's just a HTML file. You can audit all the scripts, so you know it's legit and good. But yeah, no, I'm super happy I finally got this out. It took me a couple weeks to go over all the assets. I replaced the character assets and I kept the backgrounds because the backgrounds are very nice. And I kept some of the action, like, yeah, these are nice. This is a nice little alchemical diagram you can see here on sublimation and fermentation. It's got lots of like little lectures about occultism because I remember I wanted to use it to teach people occultism. It's got a few of those in it, which is really great. But it's just really, it's a funny, nice story. It's got like little adventure aspects. It's got lots of slice of life, lots of like character. It's meant to be like a character. I wouldn't say drama because it's not really a drama. It's pretty light-hearted. It's meant to be very chill. It is not safe for work. And it's also so it's like an 18 plus. It's not like there's one bonus scene at the end which you have to go through the options menu, and then I've got a few promotional pieces, but and then a few backgrounds have some stuff which might be a little inappropriate, but otherwise it's pretty wholesome, though a little crude because I did write it about 7-8 years ago or something. That's when I made the original one, and this one's on a new engine, so it's the old engine had some different quirks, which is what makes it unique as well. But I wanted to share it to everyone through the web, right? And you can do that. Links in the description, of course. The download is there. And man, what a wild ride! I went through it and I was like kind of thinking, I'll try to do this as like a programming thing to learn the DOM a bit better to get my programming up, right? We went into the script. Hang on, let me just bring that up to kind of show you what we're looking at under the hood, because you can audit the script. You can check. I've made it that way so you can Here we are. We're in the script right now. So yeah, lots of cool. Well, it's pretty solid actually. See all these? Look at all these variables. I don't even know how many lines this is. Actually, let me bug check it. It's 300, 350-ish nearly. That's not much actually. That's pretty good for what it does. It's pretty simple. It just has a what do you call it? A game handler function which reloads everything, as you can see here. And then I've got some music and video handling because there's a lot of like stuff to do that. And then it's just all the buttons. I've got all the menu buttons, menus and menus, volume, extra stuff. And then it's just it just preloads and chapter handling and all that stuff. It's pretty simple as far as things go. But as I was saying, I went through this, not really understanding if I'd be able to do it or not, and I just every day I got a little more, and eventually started to really appear as a thing, right? I don't know. I don't want to use a product or anything because it's free. Donate if you want, but I really don't care. I wanted to make it free for everyone who wants to check it out. And I was going through so many memories and emotions, and like it was a form of trauma work, is the best way to put it. Because when I made this, I don't know how much I want to get into it, just because the people involved, I don't really want to. I don't want to, I'm kind of over it. I don't want to speak ill or anything, but I was going through a lot of intense times in my life, and I spent so much work on this. I spent so many hours just grinding out images and songs, and the music is incredible. You can listen to some of the music. I mean, admittedly, I've improved a lot, but there's some lovely pieces in there, and if anyone wants to make videos of it or use the music or the art assets for their own, whatever you need to use it for, that's fine. I'm fine with that. As long as you don't just re-upload the project and try to sell it or something. But yeah, I was just going through so many emotions and just processing thoughts and about like tons of different people. Because I remember when I released this, I guess I'll get into the meat of it if you really want to know. I tried to I made a couple of visual novels, and I made all this project and all this art stuff for, I made comics, made all kinds of pictures and like all kinds of stuff, right? Actually, Plastic Animals started out as a comic. It was like the first real serious thing I made. It was like a 12-page comic or something, and I only have one or two pictures of it, unfortunately. There's a bonus folder where you can get some of the art. I used to draw this out on a book, and I had a book full of all the scenes. I used to write out like the fights and all the big scenes. And my goodness, the amount of work I put into it. I would always make stuff for everyone else, right? Though admittedly, this one really has a lot of me in it. I think this one has the most of all my projects. It has the most of me, especially during that period, 7, 8, whatever years ago, right? But I would always make things for other people, and I remember releasing it and giving it to everyone, and it's like basically everyone ignored me for about a year after, and they didn't talk to me. And whenever I tried to talk to them and say, hey, did you play the visual novel, they kind of just like were awkward and wanted to avoid conversation. And I would get like tons of bad thoughts, right? I would get all these bad, like uncomfortable thoughts constantly for years and years after. Whenever I'd think about it, it's the point where it's like I wasn't comfortable with this project. I wasn't happy, Well, I mean, I loved it, but it was like whenever I would think about it, I would just get those bad memories again for the people that are in that period, right? And then eventually they kind of talked to me again like a year after or whatever, but it was never really like they never really said anything about it, or so I'm sitting there wondering, like, did anyone even play it? Did anyone even read it? Like, or maybe they did, but they thought it was like weird or awkward or like janky or something. I don't know. So I was so confused for years after, and made it really hard. I still tried to connect with those people, and I still tried to be a good friend and all that, but eventually just kind of faded out because I wanted to get more serious with my stuff, my life, and yeah. But I was going through all those thoughts, and like each person individually, and like going through like trauma of that. It was intense. So really, and now I feel good about this project. I feel good about the original mostly. It's pretty much, it's a little bit rougher, but and this one's a lot more. This is truer to the original. I changed the character back to what they were originally, and I removed a couple things, added a few things. So it's a little more. I think it's a better version. I'm really proud and really happy about it. But yeah, no, it was intense. Internally, it was really intense, but it really got that like artistic drive going. But I'm exhausted. It was hard to walk after finishing this. The amount of energy and effort I've just put into like just grinding it out. So don't expect too many visual novels, but I do have another project I want to get done, and maybe I'll redo some of my old stuff again. And but it's difficult because I'm not making money off it, and that's not me asking for donations. Because I'll put it this way: even if like a bunch of people bought it, it's not really going to make enough. So, which is another interesting thing I found out about art, which is pretty much that art doesn't really make you money unless you're really popular and selling a lot. So it's better to do this stuff in the same way I was saying I made all that stuff for friends. Eventually, I didn't have any friends, and you know what? I had to make something for me, and that's what my other my other visual novel that I've got like half done, that I've just been sitting on for like 5-6 years now. Pretty much I made all that for myself, I guess, and it was all just personal. Like I wasn't thinking in the back of my head, hey, because really I just wanted to read it with my friends, and like we could have a good night, we could drink, we could laugh, and just enjoy ourselves. And I guess that never happened, and I'm over it now, and I've processed all of that. I thought I processed it all like 5 years ago or something, over like the pandemic period, but I guess not. I guess there was a lot more to deal with. So I feel like it was very therapeutic to make this, and I really hope you get yourself a copy if you're interested, and I hope you love it as much as I do, because I really poured my heart and soul into it, really, and I think it's just great. It really is like you see your own work, and it's just the sweetest, coolest thing. Even if someone else's work is artistically better or better made or better written or whatever, it is, your own stuff is just, it's got this charm to it. It's got this thing which you can't get from anything else. And to me, this gives me that. It puts me in a place which is amazing, I guess. It's great. It's just lovely. It really is. To me, it's like the embodiment of the mind, like I'm very mentally orientated, right? And it's just such a mind, product. I don't know. It's not like super complicated or anything, but it's just like so much mental energy, so much mental energy is put into it. So anyway, I'm probably rambling a little too much for this, but no, I'm super happy I finally done this, and I really hope you enjoy it. So go check it out. Links in the description. Isha.io. Download it. Run that index.html in your browser, and have a good time.